The Untold Life of Emma Raducanu. She stunned the world at just 18. A teenager ranked outside the top 100, braces still on her teeth, stepping onto the hard courts of New York with nothing to lose. And then, shocking everyone, she conquered the US Open as a qualifier, not dropping a single set along the way. Overnight, Emma Raducanu became the face of tennis, Britain's golden girl, fashion's newest muse, and the most marketable athlete in the world. But what the cameras didn't capture was the story behind the trophy. A story of strict household rules, enforced by her parents and grandmother, including a total ban on dating. A story of stalkers lurking outside her home, and a young woman struggling to balance fame with her mental health. A story of rumors about boyfriends, whispers of billionaire heirs, and even playful speculation about a romance with Carlos Alcaraz. And now, in 2025, Emma Raducanu's net worth is estimated at £13.5 million. But how did she get here? And what does her story reveal about the real cost of overnight superstardom? Stay with us as we uncover the untold truth of Emma Raducanu's life, from strict rules at home, to stalkers, to boyfriends, and the empire she's quietly building behind the spotlight. Early life and strict upbringing. Emma Raducanu was born on November 13, 2002, in Toronto, Canada. Her father, Ian, is Romanian, and her mother, Renee, is Chinese. When Emma was just 2 years old, the family moved to Bromley, South London, the place she still calls home today. Both her parents worked in finance. They weren't celebrities. They weren't athletes. But they believed in values that would shape their daughter's life: education, discipline, and sacrifice. Emma's upbringing was strict, sometimes, as she would later admit, stricter than she liked. Sleepovers? Not allowed. Parties? Out of the question. Social distractions? Kept to a minimum. But the most famous rule of all was the one her grandmother in Romania enforced mercilessly. No boyfriends. Not until school and tennis were secure. Emma herself has recalled how seriously her family meant it. While other teenagers at school were exploring relationships, Emma spent her evenings studying and training. That focus built resilience, and a kind of maturity well beyond her years. Academically, Emma thrived. At Newsteadwood School, she earned top marks in mathematics and economics, while also picking up languages like Mandarin and Romanian. She was as much a scholar as an athlete, and her parents encouraged her to excel in both. Sports were her outlet. She dabbled in skiing, karting, horse riding, swimming, and even motocross. But tennis, the sport she picked up at just 5 years old, was where she truly shone. By her teenage years, Emma was competing in junior tournaments across the world, her dedication clear even as her social life remained restricted. Looking back, many say those strict rules might have been the very reason she had the mental toughness to survive the spotlight that was about to hit her. The breakthrough. US Open 2021. September 2021. The US Open. Emma arrived ranked 150th in the world, forced to play through the qualifying rounds just to make it into the main draw. Hardly anyone knew her name outside of Britain. But what unfolded over the next 2 weeks stunned the tennis world. Emma swept through match after match with calm precision. She beat established players with fearless shot-making, never dropping a set. The momentum grew. The crowd started chanting her name. By the time she reached the final against Leila Fernandez, Emma wasn't just a dark horse, she was destiny. On September 11, 2021, she made history, becoming the first qualifier ever to win a Grand Slam. She didn't lose a single set. The image of her collapsing to the ground, smiling through tears, became iconic. At just 18 years old, Emma Raducanu had become Britain's youngest Grand Slam champion in decades, the kind of fairy tale sports story that happens once in a generation. But the fairy tale came with a catch. With the trophy came instant global fame, and the chaos that followed. Endorsements and the spotlight. Emma Raducanu's life changed overnight after her US Open triumph. Suddenly, the teenage qualifier who had stepped onto the court as an unknown was being courted by the biggest brands in the world. Within weeks, Nike offered her a multi-million-pound contract, cementing her as one of their global faces. Soon after, Dior named her their international fashion ambassador, placing her alongside Hollywood stars and runway icons. The endorsements didn't stop there. HSBC, Evian, and Tiffany & Company all signed lucrative deals with her, turning Emma into one of the most marketable athletes on the planet. By 2022, Emma was earning more money from sponsorships than from tennis itself. Magazine covers became routine. She graced Vogue, appeared in glossy spreads for fashion houses, and walked red carpets that most athletes could only dream of. She made her debut at the Met Gala, rubbing shoulders with the biggest names in music, film, and fashion. At just 19 years old, Emma Raducanu had transformed from a schoolgirl in Bromley into an international superstar. But with the glamour came the darker side of fame. The paparazzi began following her every move, whether she was at a tournament or simply leaving the gym. Tabloids dissected her personal life endlessly, speculating about her friendships, her private choices, and even her family. Worst of all, Emma became the target of stalkers. One intruder repeatedly appeared at her home, leaving unwanted notes and gifts. Another harassed her during matches, a chilling reminder that fame also attracts danger. These incidents left Emma shaken, forcing her to hire additional security and limit her public appearances. The fame she once thought was a dream started to feel like a nightmare. Love life. The world didn't just want Emma the tennis star. They wanted Emma the person, and that meant endless questions about her love life. Here, her strict upbringing came back into play. Remember that no boyfriends rule? Emma's parents and grandmother had drilled it into her so strongly that even as an adult, she has been cautious about relationships. Still, the tabloids tried to connect the dots. In 2023, Emma was linked to Carlo Agostinelli, the son of a billionaire banker. They were spotted together at fashion events, including Paris Fashion Week, sparking rumors of romance. But just months later, Emma unfollowed him on Instagram, effectively shutting down speculation. Then came a rumor even bigger and juicier. Her friendship with Carlos Alcaraz, Spain's charismatic young star and world #1. Clips of them laughing together at practice, joking during interviews, and playing mixed doubles went viral. Fans swore there was more than friendship. But Emma has remained consistent. She's single. When asked directly about boyfriends, she often deflects, pointing back to her upbringing, education and tennis first, relationships later. It seems the rules that once felt restrictive are now her shield, protecting her from a media hungry for scandal. Luxury, privacy and mental health. Despite her millionaire status and Dior campaigns, Emma Raducanu has chosen a surprisingly grounded lifestyle. Unlike many celebrities, she still lives with her family in Bromley. She hasn't splashed out on flashy sports cars or a mega mansion. Her spending is modest, and her private life tightly guarded. Because for Emma, privacy isn't just preference, it's survival. After dealing with stalkers and constant scrutiny, Emma admitted to suffering from insomnia and anxiety. The world saw her as a glamorous tennis star, but behind the scenes she was struggling with the price of fame. In an interview, she confessed, "I'm not scared because I'm a tennis player. I'm scared because I'm a girl." Her words resonated with millions, especially young women facing harassment. They also revealed why Emma rarely shares details of her private life online. Social media, for her, is a double-edged sword, good for endorsements, but dangerous for her peace of mind. So while her peers flaunt wealth on Instagram, Emma stays quiet. Her silence is strategic. Net worth 2025. So where does Emma Raducanu stand today? As of 2025, her net worth is estimated at £13.5 million, $15 million. The vast majority comes not from prize money, but from endorsements. Tennis injuries and inconsistent form limited her time on the court, but brands never stopped believing in her global appeal. Her company, Harbours 6 Limited, recently reported assets of £13.4 million, showing just how lucrative her partnerships have been. Dior, Nike, HSBC, Evian, and Tiffany remain loyal sponsors. Interestingly, Emma has reportedly turned down some deals, careful not to overexpose herself, a sign of her growing business maturity. Unlike many athletes, Emma's fortune isn't built on extravagance. She hasn't bought a supercar collection or a Hollywood mansion. Instead, she remains financially cautious, guided by the same principles of discipline her parents instilled in her. In a world where fame can corrupt, Emma Raducanu is playing a long game, building wealth steadily, without letting it define her. Emma Raducanu's journey is far from over. The young girl who shocked the world in New York at just 18 has grown into a woman navigating fame, fortune, and pressure with remarkable poise. She has endured the highs of becoming a Grand Slam champion and the lows of public scrutiny, stalkers, and injuries that tested her resilience. Through it all, she has remained grounded, shaped by the values her parents instilled in her: discipline, focus, and above all, privacy. Her story is about more than a single trophy. It is about what happens when an ordinary teenager is thrust into extraordinary circumstances. It is about living under rules that once felt restrictive but now serve as protection against a world that wants a piece of her. It is about learning to thrive in silence, to succeed without surrendering her identity to gossip or tabloids. Rumors about boyfriends may swirl, and speculation about her personal life may never stop, but Emma Raducanu has made one thing clear: she refuses to be defined by relationships or distractions. Instead, she has built a multi-million-pound empire, becoming not just a tennis star but also a symbol of independence and smart choices. Unlike many of her peers, she doesn't flaunt her wealth or expose her private life. She chooses instead to control her own narrative, something rarer and perhaps more valuable than any trophy. In 2025, Emma Raducanu remains a figure of fascination. She is still writing her story, carefully, deliberately, and on her own terms. And if her past is any indication, the world has not yet seen the full extent of what she can achieve. Emma Raducanu is more than a champion. She is proof that true victory lies not in fame, but in freedom. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more untold stories.